New details this morning as the son of Cleveland kidnapper Ariel Castro talks about his father, saying he hopes his dad's life and death can lead to changes. Well, Brandon, the president apparently expected the shutdown to last until at least today when he scheduled this event earlier this week. A judge in the Aurora Theater shooting case says the extreme indifference murder statute is constitutional. Her family just wants her back. 1-year-old Elena Steinfurth was last seen this weekend at her East Toledo home. But what we do know is that TPD detectives have been speaking with the family regularly. They are involved in this search. Again, this is a deadly semi-rollover, and if you can see, it is pretty far off the road. I would say probably about 50 feet. Denny's in Sylvania Township will officially open its doors to the community. The family-owned and operated restaurant will reward the first 100 customers through the door with a free original Grand Slam breakfast. Sounds good, doesn't it? If you remember an old Full House episode, Uncle Jesse skydives right before his wedding and gets stuck in a tree. Do you remember that? Anybody? Full House? I'm Ashley James.
I'm Chris Vickers, in for Ryan Weekman, in for Jenna Lee on assignment this morning.
You weren't our third choice. I don't want you to think that.
That thought didn't cross my mind until you just said that.
Good morning. Yeah, this is very exciting. So let's play some trivia here. Yeah. When was the last time the Detroit Tigers won the World Series?
Was it 2010, 11?
Okay,
no.
Wait.
Okay, maybe
you're
not.
a few years
maybe.
off. I'm going to say 1991.
No.
No. You know at home? A little off. It was 1984. Oh.
Happen to anybody. We're watching the Kmart's close. We're watching the Andersons close. We're watching different area businesses still continue to feel the hits from this economy, and it does affect the folks that we serve here. We definitely see an influx.
Area shelters like Family House are seeing the number of homeless families increase. In 2012, they served 800 individuals, 100 more than the year before. More than half of those were children. And Director Renee Palacio believes the economy is still to blame.
It's been my opinion that Toledo was one of the first hit in 2008 when the bottom dropped out, and so we're going to be probably one of the last to recover.
A still struggling economy may be the reason for the increase. Ohio's unemployment rate is 6.8%, but numbers released by the Department of Job and Family Services in November show Lucas County remains significantly higher at 7.4%.
You gonna pour it in your hand?
Thomas Harrison Jr. and his wife Ebony, along with their 4 children, have been at Family House for over a month and know far too well the difficulties the struggling economy has brought.
We was worried about when we was gonna be able to pay our bill, if we was gonna have it on time, or was we gonna get eviction.
Thomas was one of thousands who lost his job in the auto industry, and soon the bills started piling up. That's when he packed up his family and brought them here to Toledo, hoping for a better opportunity, and that's how they ended up here at Family House.
You know, it hurts me as a father because I'm striving for so hard, but yet, it's them, and I want to see my kids ride their bike and, go in their own backyard.
Thomas and his wife are not alone. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, homelessness is down 5.7% nationally since 2007, but up 24.1% here in Ohio. In fact, homeless numbers rose 7.3% from 2011 to 2012.
The families we serve here at Family House they look like you and I. They're educated, they're skilled, they're intelligent, and most of all, the families that we serve here, they want the best for their kids, just like I want for my kids, just like any other parent wants for their kids.
Regardless of their situation, Thomas and his family remain positive.
Hopefully, praying with my faith, we'll have our own place. That's what we're trying to strive now, to buy a house. So, Lord willing, if something happened to me or him, our kids have something to fall back on. Everything could come in due time. We just have to wait and just pray and wait on our blessings.
I'm Ashley James.
Apparently still 2 gunmen, apparently students we're hearing, are still inside of the Columbine High School.
It is scary to see that on what should be a calm, quiet Monday morning.
on campus a day after going to classes.
She described it as a pop, pop, pop in the hall. And they all heard it. There were about 7 people in the meeting room. They heard that sound in the hall.
It's become an all too familiar scene here in the United States. In the last decade, the number of school shootings has risen into double digits, leaving innocent children and adults dead.
After Sandy Hook, it was scary for a couple days just to visualize what would I do, how would I react.
The horrific events have caused many teachers and administrators to feel on edge before walking into a classroom, a place where you're supposed to feel safe. And now many are standing up against the threat and taking action. Armed teacher trainings have popped up all over the state, including this one.
You know, we always say pulling the trigger is the easy part.
I sat in more than 8 hours of training with these teachers, learning what they did. No one wanted to be seen on camera due to the controversy.
We run, hide, fight. I think that's my motto from going on from this point: run, then hide, then fight. And if it comes down to a situation where I have to fight, I'm first and the students are behind me.
This teacher from Huron County told me he wanted to go to this training to familiarize himself with a gun, and that is just one type of training he got.
They learn states of mental awareness, they learn observation skills, they learn how law enforcement responds to issues in the school.
Okay, shooters, go ahead and load and make ready. Pick that gun up in your workspace, insert a magazine.
I talked to the Attorney General's office, who tells me there are 3 exceptions when it comes to allowing guns in schools. 1, a police officer on duty. 2, private security employed by the school. And 3, any other person given permission by the school board.
Attorney General Mike DeWine has left it up to schools, but would support a school board decision to arm personnel if they choose to. Not everyone agrees.
And I've been pretty open to people's suggestions, but the one thing that I'm not open to is arming our personnel.
No, we should not begin to allow our people to carry arms.
We think it's probably a direction that we don't want to go in.
But not every school district sees it that way. The Williams County School District's board approved plans to arm some of its non-teaching employees with handguns.
At the end of the day, it's my authority and their authority to make sure that everybody comes to school in a safe environment, and we're willing to take whatever measures are necessary to make that happen.
And while the teacher we spoke with went through this program, he says he hopes he never has to be armed.